Today we're gonna speak with Raymond. She's got the coolest job ever. Like, coolest. I think better than an astronaut. Kind of cool. And here we are, Raymond.
Hey Jason,
Hey, thanks for coming on.
thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. So, yeah, I invited you on because you have an interesting job. I've never met anybody with your type of job. I think it's pretty exciting and it's pretty unique. I've never met anybody like with your job.
And not many departments have this kind of role
Yeah,
or this kind of position or job.
yeah, it's pretty cool. So, do you want to say what you do?
Well, I'm a crime scene photographer
Yeah.
for a major department, police department.
Okay, right. And how did you get the job?
That's by word of mouth, and I explored job. I explored this job through the personnel division of the
Okay.
city, and that was a long time ago.
Yes. And you started out how did you start out like getting into photography?
Um, I started photography when I was 12 years old in junior high
Yeah.
school, and it just blossomed from there.
Yeah, you made a career out of it, man.
Yes, I've done a lot of things in photography, but some of the jobs I had nothing to do with taking pictures.
Right.
And
What kind of jobs were they?
I worked as a salesperson in camera stores when there were camera stores.
Yeah, a lot of
And
photography majors probably do that.
yes, and I have worked in color processing labs,
Yeah.
printing color pictures, and I have been a assistant to a wedding photographer for a while.
Right, right.
And uh, I've been a darkroom manager for labs that have dark rooms.
Hmm.
And I spent some about 10 years doing catalog work.
Right.
And from there, I sought work at a police department doing crime scene photography.
That's so exciting. If I could I thought about doing that, but it's just like just the I I googled it how to do it like oh I got to go through like I have to do what do you call it? I have to get a criminology degree and all that, or photography. It felt
Right?
like it was too many hoops, so I'm just gonna I'll just stick with accounting.
Yeah, they're not easy to find. It's very rare to
Yeah,
have a police department with a crime scene photography unit.
yeah. I think
Usually,
you might have. Yeah, you gotta have to. You're gonna have to find like a major department,
yes,
like a major city that really needs you.
yes. To do this kind of work, it's better to be with a major department in a major city. That's where the action is in a major
Yeah,
city,
yeah,
where the crime is going on every day.
yeah. Unfortunately,
The car accidents,
big
hit and
cities.
runs, child abuse, domestic
Okay.
violence.
Yeah. Can you? There's you have like a light problem that just keeps blinking on and off.
Hmm.
There any way you can fix that?
Let's see. Is that better?
Yeah, it's better. That's cool. Are you standing? I don't want you standing the whole time.
No, I'm sitting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, much better. I don't know why it was blinking, all the time.
Oh, as long as it's okay now.
Yeah, it's okay now. So, are you? Can I ask you what? You don't have to answer if you can. If you can answer, it's great. What was the worst thing that you've seen?
It's hard to tell. A lot of things
Yeah.
I've seen are worse, like car accidents resulting in dismembered bodies,
Ugh.
murder victims
Yeah.
who got slashed to death with a cleaver,
Ugh.
children who have been murdered with by their mother,
Ugh.
um, suicides.
Oh man.
Those are sad.
Yeah.
Those are really sad. And those kind of scenes are a lot of times they're very messy because
Yeah.
they use high
Especially if they're
caliber
using a gun.
handguns,
Is it a gun or they're using a
high caliber handguns.
high caliber handguns? Like what is that? Like a 357 Magnum, 44, 45?
Yeah, that's about it.
That's what they probably just use all the time. Like
Yeah,
not 9 millimeter. I think that's nine
I've
millimeter
done
is
that.
probably what they use for homicide to kill each other people.
Yeah, I've seen it done with small caliber handguns,
Yeah.
and most of the time with high caliber handguns. That
Yeah.
ensures that the person's head is not intact.
Ugh. It's probably just blown up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty
I
sad.
I used to go to a shooting range and then and there was one guy. There was a suicide. Like he rented out the gun. He just went there just to commit suicide. It's pretty
Right.
sad.
Yeah,
It's just very very sad.
I've been to one where a newlywed discovered her new husband had affairs. She became really distraught.
Huh?
She, yeah, she put her photo albums on the bed, opened up the pages. She put on her wedding dress and hanged herself.
Ugh.
That was a long time ago, though. Early
How
in my
long ago?
career. Early in my career.
What is it? Oh,
Early in my career, I encountered that.
wow.
There's a lot of them that are really worse. I
Yeah.
couldn't pinpoint which ones are worse than others.
Yeah, I get. I'm back in accounting because I haven't done accounting since 2015. I think, and I feel like it's such a boring job that it's making me calm. But like, hey, if
Hmm.
someone wants to pay me that much money, I feel like I'm getting paid too much. But before back when I was younger, I wanted something more exciting. Now it's
Hmm.
like I'm fine with a boring accounting job.
Oh, mhm.
I don't know how it's not stressful for you,
It's
or
getting stressful.
you find a way to like you find a way to like be
So
objective.
I pretend that the crime scenes are is a movie,
Okay, that's cool.
a movie set with props, and I'm very good makeup artist.
Right, right.
That's why I deal with it. But the job is getting to me. After
Yeah,
so many years, I've been feeling the stress out of it from it.
yeah. You know what I did once? I did Stringer News like right after college,
Hmm.
for like 2 or 3 months, and then once I had a call. I drove over to this highway, and the guy, his Mercedes was pinned him pinned him down. It was sideways it was sideways, and the
Hmm.
Mercedes like he was pinned underneath the car. The Mercedes.
Oh,
I'm like, and then I was like, oh man. And plus it was like 2 in the morning. I had the night shift. I don't think
yeah.
I could do the night shift.
Yeah, I did night shift. I've done night shift for about 15 years.
Yeah,
And it made me have anxiety attacks.
yeah,
So I changed my shift to days. And
yeah.
my anxiety attacks were gone.
I think that's what happened with me because I was doing a night shift and I probably wasn't seeing the day, sunlight or
Yeah,
anything like that.
yeah,
Like a person needs to go out during the day. But
yeah,
man, you have like the objectivity of like a surgeon or something like that. That's basically the same steel, steel toughness of a surgeon. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I don't even know the names of the victims most of the time.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
I just remember the faces. So,
yeah. Now you're probably not allowed to keep those. You know what I mean?
yeah,
The
this is
pictures, right?
confidential. They're confidential, and I can't take them home.
Yeah,
So
obviously,
you
yeah.
can have
That was a
them.
stupid question, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you can write a book on this stuff, man. Write on the book and like teach people how to teach people how to take pictures, like be a great crime scene photographer, or just talk about how life is. Be like a motivational speaker or something.
I guess I can do that.
Yeah, I think I don't know when you're gonna retire, but after
Um,
you retire, it's something about like you know.
well, I'm looking for a retirement in about 1 or 2 years.
Okay, there's this guy. My aunt told me about this guy, and he was a cop, and he said that but now he's a retired cop, and now he's into like witchcraft,
Um,
you know, because he was in a city that was that had like a big Latino community,
yes.
and apparently like Latinos in that city, they were they were big into witchcraft, and my uncle my uncle is like big. He thinks like his next door neighbor, the woman upstairs, like
Yes.
in his same building, he thinks that that she's doing witchcraft on him. That's why his body's
Um,
like aching now, and he's very
well,
slow, that he gets dizzy,
mhm.
and sometimes he'll be like, "Yeah, she took my keys. She's doing witchcraft on me. She put a spell on me." I'm like, "Dude, what?" And then my aunt told me about like, "Oh, witchcraft is true. There's this former cop who who like stops, who knows about the witchcraft in that city." I'm like, what?
Oh,
But yeah, I I, I forgot what was my point, but yeah, this it's yeah. I think you have like you need like a special gift to do that job, but like also you have a great talent for that.
yes. I've been to crime scenes where the victims practice Ouija boards.
Oh, oh, my point was that this guy now
Yeah.
used to be a cop, and now he's like a motivational speaker for like witchcraft. That's what you could do.
Yeah.
Maybe I could just be your agent. I'll make money off you.
Yeah.
I'll get you speaking
Mhm,
speaking gigs.
mhm.
You have a lot of experience. That's amazing, dude. Oh, they practice Ouija boards, so
Yeah,
but they eventually like.
I suspect they got influence from the Ouija boards, and
Okay.
their mental condition wasn't right,
Yeah.
and they suffered some fatal consequences.
Yeah.
That's what I suspect.
Yeah. Yeah. That sucks. I actually know somebody whose cousin was into that like it wasn't Dungeons and Dragons, but it was like a one of those games, like those first person player games, like you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then she became like lord or queen of this one game,
Hmm.
and her father was actually like trying to her father was like aggravating her to do well in school,
Hmm.
but I think she had like a mental. I'm pretty sure she had mental illness.
I
So
see.
what she did was she hired somebody to kill her father. The first
Mm-hmm.
attempt didn't go so well, but the
Hmm.
second attempt, the guy used a katana sword,
Hmm.
a ninja sword, and he was successful with it.
Right.
Unfortunately, I was like,
Yeah, that's
not it's not the Ouija, not to say obviously it's not a game like a Ouija, but those things it it's not unheard of. Is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. I
It's
even had
just
I even had um, colleagues who entered rooms that have satanic decorations,
yeah.
candles and heads of goats. And when they
Oh,
entered the room,
wait,
when they entered
real
the
heads of
room,
goats or just
yeah,
the skull?
it's called. And when they entered the rooms, they had real bad feelings.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. So in here in New Jersey, I'm in New Jersey now.
Mhm.
There's a lot of satanic rituals like over here. Like there's a lot of you don't hear them so much, but you got to be a local to to hear about it.
Right.
It's like local legends kind of thing. But yeah, there's especially like out in like northwest, like by the forest.
Mhm.
There's there's satanic worshippers,
Right.
but you got to be a local. You don't really hear it much in
Oh,
the news. Like you hear it's known among the locals.
I went to a vandalized case of a Catholic church. Inside, the perpetrators put a pentagram on the floor
Uh
using
huh.
coffee beans.
Oh wow.
It was pretty. It was a pretty good design. The way they arranged the coffee beans.
Right. I wonder what the significance of coffee beans is. Using coffee beans. Maybe it's just
Just something that they found to use.
yeah. Man,
Uh-huh.
that's just. I guess I guess it would be weird for me to ask if like what was like the least gruesome you saw? Just like a
Only
dead cat?
burglaries.
Oh yeah. Oh, you do burglaries too?
Yeah, burglaries and high-end neighborhoods with mansions.
Oh, so the low end neighborhoods wouldn't get like a crime scene photographer? Well,
Oh
obviously,
yeah,
like if it's a high end, they're probably like there's a lot stolen. It's probably what
yes,
it is.
yes. I've been to really low-end neighborhoods where there have been home invasions,
A what?
home invasions in
Oh, right, right.
low-end neighborhoods. They're
Yeah,
usually looking for money, like drug money,
yeah.
things like that.
So, what's the radius that you travel? Like the like how far out do you go? Like what's the farthest out? Like 60 miles, 100 miles? I don't
I
know.
ju- I can go from the north of the county to the south part of the county, which is about almost 100 miles
Yeah, yeah,
up and down the freeway.
yeah. Do you ever? What am I gonna ask? What was your busiest night? Like, what was like? How many crime scenes did you have to do one time that was on your busy night? On your busiest night, what was the most you had for a crime scene? For crime
I've,
scenes
I've done 7 crime scenes in one night
in
once.
one shift?
Yeah, in one shift.
Oh God,
I
that's
went
sad.
up and down the county.
And how many miles did you have to travel from the one distance to another? Was like what was the farthest? The 100 miles?
About 75 miles.
That's still pretty far, man.
Yes,
It's like an hour and a half.
yes.
That's crazy. Hour 15.
Uh-huh.
Wow, man. You're definitely my most exciting guest.
Well, I'm glad to excite you and your audience.
Yeah, I did have my friend from Long Island. He did
Mhm.
meet the Long Island serial killer
Oh,
because he used to work for the Department of Buildings, and then you know how the Long Island serial killer was an architect, so
yeah,
that dude had to come and get some permits or whatnot. I think.
yeah.
Anyway, man. So yeah, man,
Uh-huh.
it's pretty wild.
Yes, it was a wild job, an odd job.
Huh?
It's a very odd job.
Yeah, it's interesting. What was it like? So if there's nothing happening, you just sit in the office or something, or you just sit at home? Are
I
you like,
sit I sit in the office and process pictures digitally,
uh-huh.
working on the computer, cataloging photographs.
Now, who do you work with? Like, does the does the captain call you or sergeant or
Yes,
like are you part of
usually,
like? Because I watched Dexter and like, are you part of like the detective calls you or how does that work?
uh, often the detective calls me, or one of the patrol officers, or someone from the command post.
Uh huh. That's interesting. So does a whole team of you go? Like, does like the blood splatter team go? I watch too much Dexter.
Well, I go alone as a photographer.
Uh huh.
The crime scene is really serious. They would call in the criminalists, which is a team of 3 or 4 people, and they will come to collect evidence and collect blood samples.
That's crazy. I really thought about doing that, but I actually was gonna be a cop in New York City, and
Um,
I had a date with a girl who also
mhm.
applied for the NYPD. I got in. I was
Oh,
ready to go. I took the test 2012. I was ready. They set me up for the academy in 2014. But this girl, I said I had like an 87 on the test. She got like a 92, 93. We were
oh,
like competing, but she did forensics
oh, mhm,
for NYPD at the time.
yeah,
And on our first date, she was like late, and so
mhm,
I stepped away a little bit, just to go for a walk in New York City. When I came back, I was already late, and then she was freaking out at me. It's like, it's like I had to. She was yelling at me in the street. I had to like go put a blanket under a microscope that belonged to a child who got raped. I was like, whoa, something like that.
mhm,
She was like stressed out. I could understand, but once she told me like why she was stressed out, it was involved a child or a young girl. I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't yell at her or anything.
mhm.
But she was like, it's pretty intense. She was like very uptight, like a very uptight girl.
Yeah, I
But
never,
I don't think I got a kiss that day. I don't. Did I get a kiss from her? I got a.
yeah, I never worked with anybody who was so impressed with the crime scene that they stressed out. They're pretty even keel.
Yeah, she was like stressed out. She was just like she had a master's in something like biology or something like that. But
Mhm.
like she was wired. Maybe because it's like New York City and everyone's like, nah. I still wouldn't. Yeah, she was like a short girl, probably like 5 foot, but she was like intense, dude. She
Mhm.
was like,
Oh wow,
but afterwards it was like we would just chill.
yeah,
Yeah, man, that's just wild, man.
yeah.
What kind of camera do you use? I'm sorry.
We use Canon 5D Mark IVs.
Okay.
Just
What did you start off with? Like when you first started?
I started with a Nikon F4 film camera,
Nice.
and that was
I love
about
how you know your cameras.
what's
You
that?
you probably you would know your cameras.
Yes. Now we're digital. Our lab is all digital now. When I started there, we were still film based, processing film
Yeah.
by chemicals and things like that. It took a long time, and the machines were hard to. They were high maintenance machines. We
Yeah.
always had to fix them.
Right. I bet you like you do you feel like you've seen so much like pictures,
Mhm.
being in crime scenes that
Yes.
if you look at something now, like somewhat like something in the news, you can figure out like you like things just start popping in your head like oh, and then you see like the husband talking. Oh yeah, he did it. Can you like you have like an second sense?
Yeah. Usually when I read tragedies and
Yeah.
newspapers, I just read the first paragraph with the headline, and I know what happened. I pretty much
Yeah, it's
know.
crazy. It's crazy. That's amazing. That's amazing. Edgar, supposedly Edgar Allan Poe can do that. Like he could
Oh,
solve like crimes. Like I think
mhm.
that was Edgar. But yeah, that's amazing, dude. You got to be like when you retire. You got to be like you got to do something with it. Like give this information. You got to pass it on, man.
Yeah.
You got to like that's amazing stuff.
A lot of the scenes that I've done, I've forgotten, and a lot of the scenes I've done, I remember them. And
Yeah.
still, a lot of the scenes that I've done, I want to remember.
Do you write? Do you write it down like as like as a book and stuff?
I write it on paper.
Huh?
I write it on paper,
Oh, nice.
and I keep my.
How many pages do you? How many pages do you have?
These are about 50 pages,
That's cool.
and a lot of the information is in my head.
Yeah, you got to get that. You got to get that out of your head. It could be a
Mhm.
movie, bro. You could be like you could be like a movie, a TV show character.
Well, a lot of us photographers have been extras in crime show TV shows.
Oh, right. And maybe as
Yeah.
even as consultants.
Consultants is also extras. Extra,
Oh,
like a
right,
police,
right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like a police photographer in a police movie, a police show.
yeah. So when you go into a crime scene, is there a certain way that you have to approach it?
Well,
As opposed like me, I'll just walk on like, okay, what's going on? Like, you know what I mean? It's like who do you talk to first? Like,
yeah, we drive into the crime scene very carefully.
okay,
You don't really be speeding into a crime scene because you could be misconstrued as a as an invader. So we identify ourselves as being with the police departments,
uh huh,
and usually they recognize our cars
right, right, right.
because we drive these recognizable trucks and sedans. Um,
And they
People
give you a
there,
company car, a police
yeah,
car.
yes, we use our city cars.
Nice. Oh, you use the city cars.
We use city cars, and they're very recognizable to patrol officers and detectives. And when we meet a detective, when we talk to the detective, we ask them, "Hey, what's going on here?" And
Right,
they'll give us their story, and they'll tell us where we can start photographing.
right.
And a lot of times we already know where to photograph because
Yeah.
we have an SOP to follow.
SOP. Yeah.
Yes,
Standard of protocol.
yes,
Now, like, do they make sure that you have a certain number of like close-ups? Like, you want this many close-ups, you want this many wide shots, this many medium shots, like different angle from the top of someone's head.
yes. That's listed in our SOPs. We start
Yeah.
off with the establishing shot, which is an overall to see the overall scene. Then we move into the medium shots,
Hmm.
and from there we move into the close-ups.
Yeah. Like say somebody got I don't know like the wound. You obviously have to take a shot of that wound, right? Like
Yes,
whether it's a stab wound or gut.
yes. We put a little scale, like a little ruler, paper ruler, onto the next to the wound, and we photograph
Oh,
close
right,
up.
right.
We photograph close up of the wound. That's directed by the coroner investigator.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's I guess my question is like we're gonna end soon, but like, what do you think like humanity is like as a whole? What do you, being that like from a perspective of like a crime scene photographer, what do you think is humanity is like a really crappy thing, or is it sad, or
It's sad.
yeah?
It's sad, but the reward is finding justice for the victims.
Okay, that's see, I like that.
To assist the detective in investigating and solving the crime.
Yeah. So you got
That's,
that's a good way of looking at it.
that's why I do this kind of work.
Yeah.
Well, what motivates me?
That's pretty good, man. I just wanted to do it because like at one point because I thought it was just cool, you know. But I never thought about it as a way to like fighting for the victims that are no longer there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's cool. I just wanted. I think when I wanted to be a cop, I was gonna be a detective. I just wanted to catch the bad guys, not really, not necessarily fighting for the victims,
Hmm.
not
Right.
necessarily protecting. That's
Right.
good to see. See. This is why you should be like a speaker one day or write a book.
Right.
I hope you do, man.
Yes.
But I think you should write a TV script.
Uh-huh.
You should
Yeah.
do it.
Okay. I'll look into that.
Yeah, if you want, I'll help you out. I mean, I'm not a super great writer. You know what I mean? I've written, but I'm not like great.
Right.
But man, that's wild. This is like I don't know. Maybe like I'll have you on another time to talk more.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Yeah, it's pretty
Where to find
exciting.
me.
What?
You know where to find me.
Yeah. I time's up. I
Okay.
Yeah, I got to take care of my mother, but we'll talk again soon. You know what I mean?
Sure, Jason.
We'll text. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's a great story. Like great, amazing life, man.
Good to see you again.
All right, good to see you.
Bye.